Since pro skates were first introduced in the 1990s, originally by Rollerblade with the Tarmac CE, and later with Oxygen through their Argon range, and USD through their Throne series, there's been an ongoing debate that continues until this day about who deserves one. Throughout the years, there have been multiple prolific and talented skaters who many believe deserve to have their name on a skate, but some have come closer than others. Some were offered a skate and turned it down for whatever reason. Others were in the process of designing the skate when the relationship with their sponsor fell apart, and some simply walked away from the sport entirely. In this video, I'll be taking a look at 7 skaters who came as close as you can come to having a pro skate without ever receiving one. Texas has produced some absolutely incredible blading talent over the years, and Mason Richard is right up there with the best of them. He skated for Rems and Ground Control and boasts a vast and impressive catalogue of sections, consisting of both online edits and sections in full-length videos by Anthony Medina, such as Swag and Waterloo. He was known for highly technical skating, which involved various 450 grind variations, his tendency to take on massive handrails, and his ability to lace both fakie and forward 900s on street. When Rems finally stopped only giving Chris Haffey pro skates and instead offered some other riders an opportunity, first they dropped an OS4 Nick Wood skate in 2011 and followed up with a pro skate for Latvian blading prodigy Nils Janssens in 2014. Mason Richard was apparently next in line to receive a pro skate from the brand, but he confirmed in an episode with Platform Podcast that he turned down the opportunity when he realised what being pro for the brand meant.
That pro status and all that stuff is it's great, and you aspire to get there. And then once you get there, for me at least, I was like completely underwhelmed, and just like I worked my ass off to get here, and then this is how it is. I'm good, you know. I'm like, the status quo in skating even today is fucking stupid, man.
Shortly after this, he stepped away from skating, and the blading community didn't hear from him again until he re-emerged in 2020 with a jaw-dropping double part in the Ant Medina video Candy, with an ender section that proved he is still just as capable of throwing down with some of the best in the world. Apparently, the Texas crew are currently working on a follow-up. It turns out Mason Richard is not the only Texan to turn down a pro skate from Sunshine Distribution, as Josh Glowicki has also refused his own boot from Razors, but not before they did it to him first. Josh was due to receive a pro skate from the brand after making a name for himself in Europe with his endless travelling, competition appearances, and constant stream of video content, but Razors pulled the plug on the skate when he changed his image.
I honestly still am not sure really what all happened. I mean, I had the trajectory of the skate, you know, the pro skate was coming out. I had it all designed.
I was like, did I imagine this? I remember you like showing me like ideas for your pro skate, but then you were never officially added to the pro team. So what happened?
No, I don't really know if I rubbed one of the team managers the wrong way. But basically, I've received a couple messages from people inside Sunshine that said, some sarcastic messages like, "Oh, we wish the old Glow would come back. Oh, why are you wearing a helmet? Oh, stop wearing those weird pants. What happened to the old Glow?" You know, I think basically when I turned left and everybody went right is when I lost Razors. You know,
so you genuinely believe it's like some of it had to do with starting to wear a helmet? Because that seems like
helmet. It's the helmet, I promise. Yeah.
Later in the same episode of Platform Podcast, he confirmed that he had been approached to produce a skate for his company Blading Camp and was offered a pro skate for the second time from Razors, but the two parties couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. I heard a rumor that Razors wanted to make a Blading Camp skate, but you turned them down. So what happened there?
Basically, I was offered, at the same moment, I was offered a pro skate and I was offered a Blading Camp skate, 2 different skates. And I was working with Andy because I wanted it to be something cool. You know, I didn't want it to be like a reprint, or I didn't want it to be just like the typical put my face on a box and sell it for 6 years. I sign a contract and you can use my name forever sort of thing. You know, because I know how it all works, you know. I've been in this company for 15 years. So, yeah. So anyways, basically they wanted to just put Blading Camp logos on like an SL and or not even an SL, on a shift and reprint it and go with it. And I said, you know what, that's kind of like super cool. I love the idea, but I would like, you know, royalties. I would like you at least to pay for 3 or 4 kids, you know, that can't afford to come to camp. Let's put a golden camp ticket in the skates, or let's put recycled cardboard, or let's do some sort of ecological skate with recycled plastic, or let's do something that's not just you reprinting on your old stock. And you know, I just got laughed at, and that's it. So I declined both offers, and here we are.
Josh is now no longer riding for Razors and has recently been seen wearing them skates. Often touted as the most handsome man in rollerblading, and with good reason, Carson Starnes is responsible for organising the long-running event A-Town Stomp, which has been going strong for over 10 years. He is also an undeniable force on skates. He was added to the Razors amateur team in 2014 and became a regular visitor to Europe, winning events, attending the notorious Roskilde Festival, and taking up residency in Barcelona for a period, where he filmed a short section for Mark Moreno's Avalancha. But by the end of 2015, he was no longer riding for Razors and could be seen skating a pair of Valo. Dustin Werbeski confirmed in an interview with Wheelscene that same year that Razors offered Carson Starnes a pro skate, and there were images of it floating around, but he wasn't happy with the terms they offered and chose to quit rather than agree for the sake of a skate with his name on it. In recent years, Carson Starnes is best known as the wild man of the Cayenne project, the person most likely to keep spirits high, don a luchador mask, or attempt a show-stopping stunt to get the crew motivated. When he's not doing that, he's experimenting with local cuisine.
Get your ass over here. Yeah. I've definitely had a good one. No, they're still good. They're crunchy, salty.
Carson's more likely to be seen rock climbing than skating these days, but he still appears on blades from time to time. Rian Arnold has been an unstoppable force on skates from an early age. In 2004, he won the Junior Asian X Games. In 2005, he won the Senior Asian X Games, beating Sven Bokhorst and Soichiro Kaneshima. And he won the Asian X Games in 2008, defeating a stacked lineup that included Brian Shima.
How does it feel to be the champion of the Asian X Games?
Sick, feels so good, dude.
Come on, best part yourself. You do it.
It feels awesome. I can't explain it.
The Australian has also put out some phenomenal videos over the years, including a section filmed solely in Paris for the now defunct wheel brand You Are Here. When Dom West moved to Sydney, the pair very quickly began working together, producing numerous promotional videos for Shadow. Despite being on the team for several years, he never had an official position, and even his incredible part in Vine Street, which featured possibly the best hurricane fish brain ever done on street, didn't seem to elevate his status on the brand. Eventually, Ryan would gravitate away from blading, only surfacing to make an appearance in Vine Street 2, which proved he is still one of the best street skaters in the world. Geography seemed to be his downfall, as flying him to Europe and America for events and filming would be too expensive for most brands at a time when the industry was at its lowest point. However, it turns out Shadow actually tried to make Rian Arnold pro. According to an interview with Dustin Werbeski for Wheelscene, Shadow offered to turn Ryan pro, give him a pro skate, and rebrand the entire company in his image. Apparently they wanted to capitalise on his urban ninja aesthetic that he had created with the distinctive flowing streetwear he became known for. However, by this point he had already given up on any chance of pursuing blading as a career and decided to focus on fashion instead, although he still appears to strap on skates from time to time. Gav Drumm could be the first skater ever to turn down a pro skate from 2 separate brands. The Melbourne native is widely regarded as one of Australia's best street skating exports and has made a name for himself throughout the world due to his various travels to America and Europe, appearing in Valo 5, Mark Moreno's Avalancha, and winning Blading Cup in 2017. He also put out a timeless part for Create Originals that same year. Many believe he should have had a pro skate from Valo, but when the brand closed its doors in 2018, Rossi's tried to scoop him up for their newly established pro team and even give him a pro skate. Gav shared the Italian skate company's offer on Instagram and simply commented, "Thanks, but no." The motivation for this became clear when it was later announced that Gav Drumm would be joining them skates. However, it turns out Gav also turned down a pro skate from them as well. Apparently John Julio offered the Australian a pro boot, but he is currently working towards a master's degree and didn't feel he would have enough time to dedicate to a skate design and promotion. Hopefully we'll see a skate with his name on it in the future when he's completed his studies. London's Dan Collins was the first British skater to get on the Dutch boot manufacturer Adapt brand, and to date he is the only rider from the UK to be on the team. He was officially announced in 2014 with a welcome edit that showed off his excellent control on toe rolls, impressive rail skills, and willingness to take on a gap or a stunt when the spot called for it. He released a number of online parts for the brand and in 2016 was added to the pro team. However, the following year, Adapt announced on their Facebook page that due to an incident that had taken place when Dan was visiting owners Peter and Olga in Amsterdam, he would no longer be riding for the company. Dan confirmed this in his own Facebook post where he mentioned that his drinking had become a problem and apologised for his actions. It turns out that before he was dropped from the brand, they were working on his debut pro skate. If you're wondering what it would have looked like, it turns out it was very similar to Levi Van Rijn's first pro skate for the brand, except instead of a lightning bolt on the back, it had a tree symbol, a reference to Dan's work as a tree surgeon.
The almost Adapt pro skate was offered to me around 2016, 2017, something like that, and we'd pretty much settled on the design and the hardware. I've been skating prototypes for a while, and we'd found material, and we'd settled on the grey black scheme. Stefan Brando had actually designed me a logo for my tree business, which I was going to use for my skate as well. It was going to be the little embroidered thing on the back. It was all pretty much ready to go, but unfortunately, as you know, that was around the time that myself and the Adapt guys parted ways. The skate was eventually released as the Levy skate, and in hindsight, I'm happy the skate saw the light of day. Obviously very disappointed, but remember reaching out to him at the time, being stoked, and I was happy he got it.
Despite things not working out with Adapt, Dan Collins is still going strong, and his skate of choice at the moment appears to be the USD Aeon. He is currently in Texas and has recently been filming with Aunt Medina. Chris Cheshire emerged in the late 1990s as one of the most exciting prospects from a rapidly growing and respected Philadelphia scene that had already produced icons such as Jeff Frederick, Jimmy Shuda, Colin Kelso, and Sean Kelso. He had outstanding sections in Underestimated, VG19, Opinions, and Choose Your Genre. Chris was also on some highly respected teams, including Rollerblade, Denial, Genre, and later Salomon, Vicious, and Deshi. However, he didn't have the best of luck with sponsors. Rollerblade dropped their entire aggressive team while he was still in the process of rising through the ranks, then the same thing happened not long after he got picked up by Salomon. He skated Deshi for what didn't seem like very long at all, producing a short section in The Truth in 2008. The relatively brief section was the last footage we saw of him on Deshi skates, and it looked like it was only filmed in a few sessions, but it was still a solid example of his undeniable ability and featured this exceptional combo on a loading dock rail. After this video, he simply disappeared from the scene. Years later, in the Sean Kelso video KC Mo in 2014, he made a brief appearance wearing Rossi's M12 and, Despite doing relatively simple tricks, it was clear that he still possessed the style that had made him so popular originally. This was the last substantial footage we would see from the Philadelphia skater, and it later emerged he hadn't skated for years before that appearance, and the skates were simply borrowed when he went to visit the Kelso brothers in Kansas City. He later got into trouble with the police through a failed armed robbery attempt later in 2014. However, before he stepped away from skating and his life took a turn for the worse, the former Deshi rider and team manager, Ollie Bennett, confirmed Chris Cheshire narrowly missed out on having a pro skate via Deshi through his own choice. Powerslide offered him the signature skate and images of the boot were being finalised when he advised that he didn't want to proceed. I couldn't get in touch with Chris to confirm the reasons, but by this point money in the industry for professional skaters was pretty much non-existent, so he probably stood little to gain in the way of royalties.